Yeah, but everybody cool?
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and jump right into it. What's up, guys? This is Courtney, one half of the Brothers of Deconstruction here with the co-host John and the other half of the Brothers of Deconstruction, Bruce.
What?
Hola.
Today we're talking about some news that came out. What, Thursday,
Saturday.
Saturday?
Yeah,
Was it
Saturday.
Thursday? I think Saturday.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was just throwing the day out there. I was hoping one of y'all was actually gonna know. I'm not even gonna lie. Some news that came out Saturday. Disney has rehired, and if you hear any like weird plastic crinkling in the background, guys, that's me playing around with my action figure I just got in the mail. I'm taking it out,
What'd you?
inspecting
Whoa,
it.
whoa, 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 whoa! What'd you get? Like,
You're a child.
I am. Who gonna fucking fight me?
I will.
What'd you get?
I bought a Infinity War Winter Soldier loose from that
Oh, all right.
Facebook group I was telling you about.
All right. Cool.
So I was just
All right.
checking it out. Yeah, so, and then I gotta open up my shirt. This shirt is fucking fire. This shirt, y'all, is fucking fire.
What shirt?
It's the Batman Spider-Man shirt, like the double Spider-Man shirt that's turned into a meme. It's that, but it's Batman. It's the '60s Batman and Batman Beyond pointing at each other. So I saw that and I was like, you know what? I'm copping that.
Oh.
I got a like '60s Batman logo coming, but it's old Bruce Wayne from Batman Beyond that says retired.
Hey, that sounds turn.
That's cool.
Yeah, I can't fucking wait to put on this shirt. This is dope.
I was in Corpus this weekend, and of course I had to go and check out what their comic shop scene and action figure store scene was. But I didn't walk out with much. I just walked out with Volume 1 of the Ta-Nehisi Coates and Leno Yu Captain America,
Yeah.
Winter in America. Yeah, they had a nice like 50% off. So I was like,
Nice.
it's under $10. I'm gonna get that.
Yeah.
So
I
cool.
still have to finish his run on Black Panther, but from what I hear, I mean, it's mixed on what I hear. Some people think that he went a little overboard with the wokeness, and other people love it. But I was liking what I was reading when I was actually buying it fucking 3 years ago.
Yeah, I had a lot of people. I had a lot of people recommend that Black Panther run. My brother-in-law included, and then I actually caught his little interview that he was doing with a couple of other like famous Black Panther like writers and artists.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me give this guy a chance. But I didn't see the book there, but I definitely, since I've heard good things about his like writing style, and then I'm just a big fan of Lin Yu. Like he has just a dope art style. So I was like, yeah, I'm copying this book.
Yeah. So I have to catch up on that, and I caught up. I think last week I caught up on. I think that's how we're just going to start out the podcast now, talking about if we bought anything or what we need to catch up on, because it always fucking happens. I caught up on DC's The Silencer, which I really really like. I'm not sure if a new issue has come out yet, but I know I was really really behind, so I did some reading, and I'm currently trying to catch up on the most recent run of the Exiles. Just because Bruce can attest to this. I was a really really big fan of the Exiles back when it was Blink, Morph, Age of Apocalypse, Sabretooth, that whole like Nocturne, that whole squad. And so when I heard they were relaunching it, I was like, okay, you know what's going on. And it was, at first I was kind of hesitant because it was like, oh yeah, Blink is back. We're adding Valkyrie, which is based on the Tessa Thompson version from Thor Ragnarok. We're doing like the squad is new. It's Wolvie from that kids universe of the Marvel comics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I was like, I don't know how to feel about this, but I've actually liked the run so far. We've gotten a Peggy Carter Captain America and a female Bucky, and it's actually not annoying as you think it would be.
Yeah.
And in her universe, Steve died before he was given the super soldier serum. So they needed somebody to take it, or else it was like, gonna fall into the wrong hands. So they just gave it to Peggy. And it was like, yeah, they told me that I should run with Captain America even though I'm British. Mm. I was like, yeah, okay, but I need to catch up on that. What were you about to say?
Oh, no, for me, I went to yesterday was the last day of Emerald City Comicon out here,
Yeah,
so I got a bunch of dope ass wall art. I
nice.
got this badass Cyclops just optic blasting. It's like black and white,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like it's just like more shadow than anything.
Yeah,
I also got this badass Gambit print.
yeah.
Uh, I got one that you love. It's Galactus and Silver Surfer, and I just wanted to grab that to
Hey,
make you jealous.
look, I ain't worried about
And
nothing.
then, because who I am, they had a Tim Drake Robin poster,
Of
which I
course.
cannot help but buy. And then one of the vendors was like, spend over $20 and you get one of these 3 posters free. So I got a free Batman black and white.
Nice,
Dope.
nice, nice. Yeah, I'm still debating on whether or not I'm gonna go to. I don't know why my mic keeps having feedback. That's weird. Um, please don't tell me I'm gonna have to start and. Oh, Jesus Christ, this is really annoying. Um, I'm still debating on whether or not I'm gonna go to PNC Express.
Mm-hmm.
I think I am, but it's only gonna be Sunday, so obviously I work the weekends and I work nights, so when I get off Sunday morning, I'm gonna have to go to sleep and for like 4 hours and wake up, see if I can catch Paul there. All right, the real reason, besides that long ass tangent, and sorry, I was having a little bit of technical difficulties, but basically, we're going to be talking about James Gunn getting rehired for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So, I wasn't expecting this. Um, I, I kind of, people were calling that, or at least hoping for it, way back when after they first fired him. Um, I'm just kind of surprised. I thought they would have, kind of stayed steadfast in their decision.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, obviously they didn't. So I don't feel any particular way about it, though. I will say that. But
I kind of saw this coming.
yeah,
I think it was more to get in front of it before any backlash happened.
yeah,
And then once they saw that no one was complaining, they were like, oh, okay, let's just hire him back. Like, it was more of everybody's like, what the hell are you doing? This was years ago. So just like, it was the opposite of what normally happens when people dig up old tweets.
yeah,
And it was more people coming to the defense of, hey, that was 10 years ago. People change. Like, we just want our movie, so on and so forth. And then they were like, the entire cast coming out like, look, we kind of want him at the helm. And then they're like, we're going to stick with this. And then it's like, time keeps moving and no one's saying anything about it. I go, oh, I guess we can bring him back.
And apparently the rumor is that they made a deal to bring him back months ago, and
I
they
can
were
see that.
waiting. They were waiting to actually announce it. And another, I think it was Midnight's Edge. They had like a little discussion. They had a Google chat video with Robert Meyer Burnett, and they said that I think the guy Andre is his name, maybe, that does a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the Midnight Says like documentary videos. He has said, learning from the Sony hacks and reading those emails, that we know that studios use the press as mouthpieces to get information out there to see how people are going to react. So that's why they leaked it, because this wasn't a confirmation from Disney. It was
Mm-hmm.
it was broken on Variety, either Variety or Deadline. Like, hey, James Gunn is back as Guardians Volume 3, and then once both parties were reached out to, they confirmed it. So, I mean, people are happy that didn't want him to go. People are happy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily. I can see both sides. Like, I
Yeah.
understand why people wanted him back, because Guardians is it's so much his movie because he put so much of his particular quirky style into the film. If they hadn't brought him back, I would have liked to have seen somebody else at the helm. But on the other end, people was like, "Oh, he should have never been fired in the first place." I don't know if I wholly agree with that. Like, I get it. This is shit that he apologized before when some of his other tweets were first kind of brought up when he first got the job for Guardians 1. And he was like, look, that was back in my days where I was trying to be provocative and shock value and this and that. But it's like a lot of the tweets, like the pedophilia tweets and shit like that, a lot of that shit looked bad. So it was people even like digging even deeper when the shit got brought up. And it's like, oh, he has a history of that on Twitter, but then there's also this one blog and this other post and this and that. And I was like, yeah, I would have aborted that shit too. I would have fucking jumped ship quick as hell. Like, I mean, I understand why they got rid of him in the first place, but I also think that I forgot what his name is. They were talking about it in the Midnight Edge video. They were saying how Kevin Feige probably wouldn't have fired him, and this came from not Bob Iger, but one of the other top people in Disney. Basically made the decision to fire him without even having Kevin, put in his say. I don't know how true that is. That's just hearsay for me, but I mean, it kind of makes sense if they backtrack and rehire him. But yeah, I don't. John, what do you think?
Well, before I give my opinion, I just want to let it be publicly known that in no way do I, because I am backing James Gunn, and I don't speak for everybody, but do I support what he did and the tweets and all that? Because again, nothing's been proven. It's not something that goes to court.
Right.
I just like society these days. They hear like one snippet of something, they're like, "Oh, this dude's a misogynist," or "This dude's, this dude represents the left or the right." So yeah, just let me know that that's my opinion on that. But, I don't think it was that big of a deal to even get fired off if they were just jokes and they were comments. There's a lot of other things, and you know what? I'm sure anybody listening, or even myself, and I can't speak for you guys, but there's always been some shit that we've done or said that we'd probably be like, man, I wish I wouldn't have said that.
Not me. If I say it, I mean it unless I tell you otherwise.
Well, then there you go. Yeah. But I mean, an example I used with a friend, talking about it was, I was like, look, man, either James Gunn was really, really smart on his reply and really sincere, because he's like, look, I've grown. Like, people change, people grow. Society was different back then, where you could joke about some stuff like that and it wouldn't trip out as many people as it does now. But having to have his job, over some remarks made more than 10 years ago. I mean, I even saw some memes about it. Like, there was a meme about, Robert Downey Jr. like looking through some blinds, because of all the shit that he's done,
right.
Back when but he's hailed as Iron Man. So it's sort of an unfair thing for them to, come after the man's job and then, publicly try and crucify this dude. But, that's society these days. You can't avoid that. But, I don't have an issue with him bringing him back, because like you said, Court, it's that Guardians vibe and that Guardians, that whole saga, that's his baby. That's something that he wrote, directed, that's his brainchild. It's a lot different from these other movies that are, collaborations with somebody, or they have the general idea and be like, hey man, we just need you to convey it. This dude took an obscure team that nobody, I wouldn't say nobody cared about, but like, it wasn't your Spider-Man or your Iron Man or, let's go back like 2012 when it got, named that they were dropping it. I mean, the only people that knew about, the Guardians, especially this specific team, were the people who read the DNA run.
Right.
So, and that's what I'm saying. Everybody, it was kind of a combination. It was James Gunn fans and then Guardians fans that were just like, okay, this is what we're talking about. And it just fired off, So I think, him finishing part 3 and him, getting to work with the people that he likes and the people that like him, I don't consider it a big deal. And I've actually seen more supportive reactions rather than people, say like, this is ridiculous or like, Disney's kicking themselves in the nuts for this, because in truth, they ain't going to kick themselves in the nuts, because regardless of who is directing it, you still go watch it. But, that's my thing on it.
Yeah, I don't. The only, for me at least, the only slippery slope for me and Robert Meyer Burnett, who I actually got into a Twitter debate with one time, he had said in the video, words shouldn't be weaponized, and society shouldn't, like, this mass hysteria that always happens when somebody says something should end. It should stop. And I agreed, except the people, at least to me, it seems like the only time when people are like, oh, this person said this way back when, this and that, is when it comes to somebody that they like.
Yeah.
And I think if there's a person that you just straight up don't like, that has shown growth between me saying I hate all women versus me saying women aren't bad, but yet you just don't fuck with me in no way, shape, or form, you're not going to care that I change my stance on something. You're still going to be like, oh yeah, he deserved to lose his job, especially depending on, how much you don't actually like the person, or you don't actually like me. Like they brought up Roseanne, and they was like, well, the difference between this and Roseanne is that Roseanne has constantly done the shit that she's done. Sticking her foot in her mouth.
Yeah, these weren't new. These weren't old comments where she had, like, these were new comments that she had said, like, in real time. So like when she said that, like, that's the thing, is if society today, man, I got to keep my shit on lock if that's how way you feel. I mean, another person being, Hulk Hogan and his racial comments. Like, I'm a big wrestling fan, but, it was just like, hey, man, like, if the dude's on video, like, if the dude, you had him recorded, and I mean, the only thing you can do is, you can apologize and you can progress. And that was like in 2015. And I think he just got, like, kind of reinstated back into, the Hall of Fame, and, like, they didn't completely throw him off on like dirt. So, I mean, but like I said, like, that's another touchy subject that'd be for a whole different podcast. But
no, I think it's a good example, because another one is Liam Neeson, when everybody got like an uproar about what he said, and it was like, oh, Liam Neeson's racist, this and that, and I was like, but he came out in public. Again, it was unwarranted. He didn't have to say that shit in the interview. He just came out and said it. But at the same time, he said, that's how upset I was. Yeah. And it was a terrible, terrible thing and way that I was thinking and this and that. But people were like, oh, Liam Neeson racist. And I was like, is he? Like, if he can admit that what he was doing was wrong, like, are you still gonna, like, hold him in under that microscope and under that light, even though he's clearly admitted his wrongdoing, in the way that he was thinking, because he never acted on it, but in the way that he was thinking? Like, I don't, like, obviously there's been a certain amount of time that has passed where he's progressed into not feeling that way anymore. Yet at the time, even after it kind of died down, I was still seeing jokes on Twitter of, oh, racists like Liam Neeson do this or shit like that. And I was like, but I mean, he admitted that he was wrong in the way that he was thinking.
I honestly think it's just an issue with society today. But like I said, that could be for another podcast. I mean, I know, and like I said, this is coming from someone like none of these comments that people were bringing up, none of them have personally offended me.
Yeah.
So I could sit here and be, say that that's how I feel about every single one of them.
Right.
All I'm saying is like, it is very known, like society today, like, man, they will take something. I mean, another person I'll drop an example on is Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
I guess he made some, jokes on Twitter, and it always happens with Twitter. I don't have a Twitter, so I'm just
yeah.
But
Twitter is fucking turned.
Were made, or some jokes were made from like more than 5 years ago, and then people just bashed him down and just completely obliterated his opportunity to host the Oscars. Now, whether you agree with Kevin Hart or whether you don't agree, just the same way that you agree with James Gunn going to these parties or having these jokes and stuff, is completely like I said, it's time has passed,
right.
And not to say that you can't atone for that, but to go after, man, let's go after this dude's job, let's make this dude, like they're trying to just bring him down. It's just like, damn, man, like that's.
I always hate when the racist shit pops up on Twitter and people immediately start going after people's jobs, and I'm like, guys, really? Because y'all would be mad as hell if something that you said came back and people started like threatening your job with it. But on the other side, the society that we live in, you probably want to go through your Twitter and delete any type of tweet that people would even deem offensive. Me, I don't give a fuck, to be completely honest.
Look at what I equate it to. Look at some of stand-up in the 80s. This is all on video. Like Eddie Murphy was constantly making gay jokes, age jokes, and just like some of the vile stuff. Andrew Dice Clay's entire persona is of a misogynist and just a giant asshole. And you can go back and you can find their old stand-up and watch it and go, okay, and don't think nothing of it. You tweet something 10 years ago that no one is like, in this age, is like, okay, times have changed. We're more culturally sensitive and extremely quick to want everything bad to happen if even a minuscule of something you say just goes against the hive think of current society. And it's just like, 30 years ago that it wasn't an issue.
Yeah. And
now, just like, because Courtney can attest to this, I say some vile shit and I just don't care. That's the type of person I am. It's just like, it's more said in jest, but I can say some terrible, like some of the stuff that I find hilarious should not be said in public.
Yeah.
But I'm also not, I can see how the world is like, we're taking a step back because we don't want to be viewed as someone who disagrees with like a marginalized group, any type of political stance or like the majority. And it's like, yeah, but at the same time, it's your boss goes on your Twitter, like, and you're like a cashier at 7-Eleven. It was like, this doesn't agree with 7-Eleven policies. It's not, you're not representing 7-Eleven, you're representing yourself.
Yeah.
But then you just lost your job and you were like, I don't think that's fair.
Yeah.
But in the end, this is what everybody's doing to everybody now.
Yeah.
It's like, this guy doesn't agree with me and what he said offends me. He should not be employed.
Yeah.
I'm like, but what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
And I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, it's just like you brought up the perfect point. Like, hey, you had some tweets that were pretty offensive 10 years ago. Well, I wasn't, check my hire date because I wasn't employed by 7-Eleven at that time. So I don't really, and that's the thing. It all goes to like people's personal views. Like, I mean, damn, if you had to be validated and supported by your personal views, I'm sure there's a lot of actresses and a lot of actors that got views on some other type of shit that we don't even, we aren't even knowing about right now. That if it came to light, it would destroy careers. And I guess that's the thing that's kind of whack, is like all the stuff, like, I don't know, I'm just more on a supportive light. So it's like, let's say, for example, just for argument's sake, if this was something that, James Gunn, because I mean, he's the focal point of all this, if this was something he was doing now, like, let's say if there was a, a party not from 10 years ago, but like 10 months ago, and be like, oh, all right, man, you need some help. But the whole like, man, people get the pitchforks like way too quick, and they're just like, man, we won't want this dude's job. And, like, and here's the other thing is all those people that cry and that complain and that rant or do something on Twitter about it like that in a negative aspect. What are you getting out of it? Are you like, if you're clearly just satisfied over someone else like losing opportunities and like you like it's like a a generation of haters. Like, why are you happy that someone else lost their job on it? And then you're gonna get a B director or someone to sub in, not get the whole thing. As far as the idea and the creative process, the cast is probably not going to want to work with them because they missed somebody else, and then you got a clusterfuck of a movie. Why? Because you had all these, you had this sense of morality all of a sudden, a quick sense of morality.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. But I also think, to James Gunn, to bring it back to him, I also think he brought it on himself, to be completely honest, because he's very, very opinionated on Twitter, and it's fine to have an opinion. But he's kind of annoying with it, to be completely honest. He's always going after Trump, no matter how you feel about Trump. Every time I was signing in to Twitter and I was opening the app, it would be just in case you missed it, and it would be like him saying something that was somehow related to Trump, and it's like, people got tired of it. People on that who were maybe they were supporters of Trump, maybe they were just sick and tired of him being super political on Twitter, which he has a right to be. It's his Twitter. He can tweet whatever the fuck he wants. But they got tired of that shit, and they was like, okay, well, since you're talking about shit that happened, years ago or whatever like that, let's see what you got going on. I think he brought it on himself. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right in any sense, but I think he kind of brought it on himself.
Not arguing that at all. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm on one side, I'm happy that he's back because, again, like I stated earlier, his style would have been, and his voice would have been something that would have been missing from that Guardians film. On the other side, though, I was really, really interested and intrigued to see who they would have brought in, but I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. I said this earlier. I think Disney was kind of backed into a wall if it's true that they actually agreed to bring him back on months ago. Because remember, this damn near happened a year ago when they fired him. This happened back in July. Let's say this happened in they agreed to bring him back in fucking November or December or something like that. I think they were cornered because a lot of people were telling them no, they weren't going to do that movie. Like Taika Waititi said, when Taika Waititi's name start getting like rumored and attached to it, he went out on Twitter and he was like, I'm not doing this.
No, yeah.
He was like, look, Marvel is a real one big family. I'm not going to come in and do that. Hell, I think Adam McKay was attached at one point. He was like, nope. Like, people started telling them no.
Yeah.
So I think at the end of the day, I think that was a job that was going to be his to get back no matter what. Because I don't think that anybody was going to actually come in with the script that he had written for it. Because remember, reports were that they were still going to use his script.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody was gonna accept that role. Now, the reason why I'm bummed out about that is because I think Guardians, I think it would have been a really, really good job to land for an unconventional pick.
I could see that.
Third movie in the series. You got to finish out the story, and I think they would have been handcuffed a little bit using that script so they can continue whatever story he was trying to tell.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have really have liked to have seen like a left field director get the role and see what they can do with it. That's just me. Like I like that Marvel kind of has unconventional picks when it comes to directors and writers for their movies, and it's worked out so far, mostly.
And that's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
But
like I could see it because like I can also see your point of view because with the way the films are going, they're about to. Well, everybody believes like there's about to be a shift in the characters, where there should also kind of be a shift in who's taking the reins of certain properties. Like that also intrigues me. Like, okay, this person got it to here. Now it's like comic book writers taking over.
Yeah.
Like this writer and this artist got it to here. Now let's see where the next one takes it.
yeah, that's essentially what it is. It's basically, I mean, they're obviously comic book movies, but it's essentially working the same way as the books do. You have a writer and an artist work on a particular title for a certain amount of time, or a character for a certain amount of time, and get them up to a certain point, and then another team comes in and picks up where that team left off. So
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing. And like I said, again, I'm happy that he's going to be continuing it, because now I want to see where he's going to take it.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, he was very. The other good thing about James is that about him on Twitter was that he was very open on Twitter as far as like regarding the movies. So he would answer people from here and there who had questions. Oh, does this mean that so and so might pop up in the movie? Or is this going to happen, or is that going to happen? It'll be like, no, yeah, no, we're working on something towards that. So he was particularly open, and I think that was good transparency when you wanted to verify something about the movie. So I'm interested to see what questions people are going to have for him once he gets started working on a movie, because he's not going to start working on Volume 3 until after he does Suicide Squad 2, which is another interesting thing about this whole hiring thing. Like he has a foot in both bags right now.
Yeah. That dude's he's on the J.J. Abrams level, where he got two rival properties and he's about to just knock them both out, because it can be argued, but the Suicide Squad movie, the one that came out in 2016, it's messy. I wouldn't say it's similar in tone, but the attempt was similar. It's
absolutely.
Yeah, like we're gonna take this ragtag misfits group and we're gonna try to get you to be in love with them and just fall in love with them and figure out what we can do. Didn't execute it like Guardians did, that's for sure.
It's definitely Suicide Squad is the funny thing is, while I think his lineup that was reported that he's going with for Suicide Squad 2 sounds like fucking trash. I'm not all that worried about it because he's the one writing and directing it.
It's what's going to be crazy, and I usually don't predict shit, but I think it's going to be one of those movies, because like now I've seen the confirmation that it's actually going to be a reboot. It is not going to be a sequel. It is going to be a complete reimagination. The movie's going to come out, and bet it's going to be a great movie, regardless of how it is. Like I don't know script. I don't know, what's to come. And it's going to be like, well, I think the only thing that was missing from that first Suicide Squad movie was James Gunn.
Yeah, that's what I was getting towards. Like, even though his lineup for his movie sounds trash, Suicide Squad was absolutely a movie that James Gunn should have made.
You can look at that and see this is a hardcore Guardians knockoff. Like they tried to go with the music, they tried to go with a team of no names. Like it tried to have that same appeal of lovable like misfits type of thing.
Yeah.
And It wasn't that. Oh God, that was. Oh.
Look, again, I have a review on the channel for Suicide Squad. I think it's a fine movie. It's just messy as shit, and the editing is bad. A lot of the music choices are out of place as hell. Overall, it has some problems, and it should have been better than how it turned out. It should have been way better than how it turned out. I was actually excited for Suicide Squad when that
So was I.
when the Comicon trailer dropped, the dark Comicon trailer, and again, there are theories, there are plenty of videos on YouTube that show the difference. There's a difference in trailer styles and the way that they're cut between that first Comicon trailer and then the Bohemian Rhapsody trailer. But either way, both trailers had me excited. And I was like, all right, this movie is gonna be fucking turned. Like, I'm liking it. I'm even fine with Jared Leto's Joker. Like, I'm okay with everything about the movie. Let's get to it. Like, it looks like it's gonna be a fun fucking time, and that's what I'm expecting with that cast of characters that they had. But if rumors and reports are to be believed, they didn't give David Ayer the opportunity to really make his type of movie, which is funny because now David Ayer with Suicide Squad and Bright, which I didn't have a problem with. I thought it was a fine movie. It has its problems, but it's not the asshole of Netflix movies like people were making it out to be. I think his reputation is a little soiled, but this is the same guy that wrote Training Day. This is the same guy that directed End of Watch. Like, David Ayer clearly has talent. Like, where is all this slander coming from? Because he was given 6 weeks to write the script for Suicide Squad, and he had the edit taken, had a separate edit cut behind his back by a trailer company that did the Bohemian Rhapsody trailer. Like, what am I supposed to, like, you want me to hate David Ayer? No. I don't give a fuck. Both of you guys, name one of the best screenwriters that you can think of off the top of your head.
I don't know screenwriters.
Is Aaron Sorkin considered a screenwriter?
Yes. The guy who wrote The Social Network.
Yes.
Aaron Sorkin is one of the most well-known screenwriters ever. He is known for great dialogue and having really, really tight scripts. You can be Aaron fucking Sorkin, and I can guarantee you, if you're given 6 weeks to write a script, that shit is not going to be good.
Oh, no.
It's not going to be good.
Yeah.
One of the rules in writing is screenwriting is rewrites. That's all it is. So you're telling me that in 6 weeks you need to, and how long was Suicide Squad? 90 minutes? 2 hours?
It felt like forever.
Yeah, it did. However long it was, you mean to tell me that in 6 weeks you're supposed to write out a 92 and 120 page script and rewrite it, write multiple drafts of that script in 6 weeks? In 6 weeks, you're probably getting a first draft. Nobody shoots off a first draft.
Yeah.
There's a reason why the screenplay program that's mostly used in Hollywood is called Final Draft. There's a reason for that. There are supposed to be multiple drafts of any screenplay that you come across until it gets tight enough to where, yes, this is a good script. We can run with this. We can turn this into a shooting script. There's a reason for that. In 6 weeks, that is not going to happen. I don't care who you are.
And even final scripts get rewrites.
While they're being used to shoot with.
Yep.
So I'm not gonna bash David Ayer because he was given 6 weeks to hammer out Suicide Squad. I'm not. Then you can tell that there was a story, there was potential there. Now, whether, in all those reshoots, because, rumors were that the reshoots were mainly done to to recreate a lot of the film, pick up a lot of the stuff because they just didn't like it. Whatever the case may be, I'm not going to bash the dude. Like 6 weeks to write a script? Dude,
Nah.
I've been developing a fucking script for 10 years and I haven't written one fucking page because I'm still trying to develop the story.
Likewise. And
Like,
Courtney knows what mine is.
Right. And it's like, I get hung up on details and trying to make sure shit makes sense. That's 10 years. That's been since senior year of fucking high school. I don't, you asked me to write a script in 6 weeks, that's going to be the worst fucking script in the world. And nothing that I'm going to be proud of. So I'm not going to bash David Ayer. However, with James Gunn stepping into it, Suicide Squad is just tailor-made for him. Whether or not, and the thing is, whether or not, I'm saying this based on, whether or not he had done Guardians before. Mm-hmm. Just knowing James Gunn's movies and knowing the type of films that he's done before Guardians, Suicide Squad is a movie, as a franchise, tailor-made for him to make.
Yeah.
This is, and I'm not even talking about back to his Trauma days. This is the same guy that wrote Slither. This is the same guy that wrote Super. He even wrote Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead film. And the funny thing about that is that that's one of the better the better heralded remakes out there. Like people laud the Dawn of the Dead remake for being pretty good. And me personally, I really, really enjoyed that movie. I saw it in theaters. I had my other brother take me to the theaters to see it. Like, I really, really liked that movie. And even later on when I bought it on home video, like, I enjoy the movie. Like James Gunn is known for having snappy dialogue and being really, really fun and creative with his writing. And he's known for just good writing. So if you give him a movie where he's supposed to take a group of villains that are basically forced to be an expendable group for the government, and you can give him whatever characters you fucking want, I'm gonna believe that that's gonna be the best version of that movie, because it's going to be. Had he worked on the first Suicide Squad, that movie would have been so much better.
Oh yeah.
Solely based on writing alone, not even editing or anything like that. Solely based on writing and dialogue. Now, editing would have been way better, but I mean, that's just me, man. It's I'm interested to see now. Another thing that I think is interesting is that if the Suicide Squad, which is, I think I heard somebody refer to it as, it seems like all of the reboot movies are getting the thrown in front of the title, The Batman, The Suicide Squad. If that movie is super, super successful, do you think they're going to try to bring him back for like a third Suicide Squad movie, even though he's going to be working on Volume 3?
I'd have to.
I would think so. I mean, if he was the key component, which that's what I'm saying, if that Suicide Squad movie does amazing and it, makes you care and people are like, oh man, this is what we were wanting in the first one, that they'll, someone will be like, man, we need to get you on the sequel. Just doesn't matter when, just we need you on the sequel. So
see, here's my problem with current DC. Now we're on a completely different subject, but it kind of ties in. There is no clear vision involved.
I think that's working out for them now, because clearly they didn't know what the fuck they were doing when they were trying to have a vision.
But with James Gunn, taking the Suicide Squad, he kind of already has a vision for it, right. And it seems like they're just letting him run with it.
Yeah. So let's hope they continue to do that through the production process.
Yeah, so knowing Warner, they can't, they don't know how not to executive meddle.
Yeah.
So it's like a clear vision across even a single movie does more for me than a lack of vision across your shared universe.
Yeah. But that's gonna be really, really interesting if he does the Suicide Squad and it's super successful, and he's moving on to Volume 3 and he's working on Volume 3. Like, I wonder what they're gonna try to do to have him to have his hand in it. Are they gonna have him write the script and give it to somebody else, or are they gonna try to bring him on to write and direct again as well? Because I mean, you can still, even with the James Gunn script, like it's been done before. With the James Gunn script, you can still have somebody else direct it, and it can turn out fine. It can turn out as an entertaining movie. Because obviously he's not going to be able to do both at the, or at least in, or I like to think that he wouldn't try to do both in succession of each other, like he's about to do with the Suicide Squad in Volume 3. Because we can only imagine, when the fuck are they supposed to start shooting Suicide Squad? Like later on this year or some shit like that. That's gonna be a what, 6 month shoot. Then he's jumping into Volume 3. They might start, and I don't know what draft he's on for Volume 3. I know he's already had a script written, especially if Marvel was, if it was reported they were going to use it, just bring a new director in, and who knows if they're going to bring in people to rewrite it again. I don't know what draft it was on, but is he going to be able, to just jump straight into kind of going into pre-production and then shooting Volume 3 like 4 or 5 months later? Wow, like all this other stuff for Suicide Squad 2 is turning around, and then after he gets done with that, jumping right back over. I don't know. It's interesting to think about.
True. No, it is. Yeah.
But damn, I really would have liked to, again, even with Suicide Squad 2, I really would have liked to have seen, somebody, an interesting choice for that film. More so than Volume 3. Because Volume 3, you can understand wanting James back with it because it's this mostly a space movie. It's mostly a space movie. It's mostly, really, really big and CGI heavy. Suicide Squad, you're not going to have a whole lot of that. So I can see wanting James to come back to Volume 3. But Suicide Squad, I would have liked to have seen like a director. I mean, both movies I would like to have seen a director given a chance to really show their chops with that. But if we're comparing the two, Suicide Squad is probably the easier film to throw somebody in. It probably doesn't have a whole lot of experience with CGI and big space operas and things like that.
Yeah.
Because I know before, when I was talking with Terrence about this, I think the question that I posed was, who would you like to step in? I can't remember whether or not he went with James Gunn or not, but I didn't prepare for the question that I posed myself at all.
Naturally.
So
it's your question.
So off the top of my head, I chose Fede Alvarez, who directed the Evil Dead reboot, or requel, I guess you want to call it, because it was a reboot, but it was kind of a sequel, and it was supposed to like branch off and do this other stuff and tie back into the Sam Raimi versions that fell through, whatever like that. He did Don't Breathe. He did Girl in the Spider's Web. He has a very particular and interesting style that I would have liked to have seen, and that's who I picked for Guardians Volume 3. But I would have liked to have seen him on Suicide Squad. I mean, you can and the reason why I picked him with Guardians 3 and just to add it or place it in a little bit more of his playhouse, I said I want to see him Volume 3 and have it be based around like the Annihilation Wave, or at least fighting the Phalanx. Like, make the fucking movie scary and, you know, run with the shit. Like, I've been really wanting a horror movie in the MCU for a while, and I thought Doctor Strange was going to be that with Scott Derrickson directing it. It was a mind fuck, but it wasn't quite the horror movie that I was expecting. Mm-hmm. But I'm ready for a horror movie in the MCU. But I think I really want to see Fede Alvarez on a comic book movie. I know he said he had discussions with Marvel and you know, it just wasn't the thing that he wanted to do. But I really want to see him direct the comic book movie. Put him on Blade. Put him on, you know, put him on something. Swamp Thing.
Nice.
Like, I don't care. Like, I want to see a horror or thriller type of movie with Fede Alvarez directing in the comic book genre. That's just me though. But yeah, I think, I mean, that's all that I have to say about them bringing James back. I mean, I'm happy he's gonna continue it. He better fucking have Adam Warlock in that shit, because I've been waiting for Adam Warlock.
If you're really one of those types that, you know, is like, man, I'm not watching this, boycott this, and like, you know, that, I mean, the only person that usually will probably miss out on that is the person saying that, you know, because everybody else is going to watch it. Everybody else is going to want to talk about it, you know, and that's the thing, is it's going to be, you know, we're only just days from the announcement that he's been rehired, you know, so we haven't seen anything creatively. Then we haven't, and we don't even know anything story-wise because we haven't even seen the end game. So, you know, what point are those characters going to be, you know, at to where, okay, it's time for James to like complete this trilogy of this Guardians, you know, stuff that he's, you know, brought, you know, and like I said, I at the beginning of the podcast, you know, in no way am I condoning, you know, what he got in trouble for, you know. At the end of the day, the man, his job is to make films, you know. I mean, it's sort of like that kind of thing that people do with, you know, football players. You know, like football players in the NFL, a lot of times, you know, they're able to be, you know, reckless, or any athlete for that matter. They're able to be reckless, or they're able to have an attitude or something like that. And, you know, sometimes they're not getting reprimanded or something like that. But it's like, hey, man, at the end of the day, this dude scores touchdowns on the field. I could give a shit what he does off the field, as long as he's scoring touchdowns or you know, doing good on my team. You know, that's all I got to say about that. You know, as long as it's not affecting. Now, sometimes it does affect, you know, because you got people do, you know, enough dumb shit, it'll get you in trouble. But you know, creatively, is, you know, I want to see what he's going to do with the Guardians, you know, and I want to see what he's going to do with Suicide Squad, because then that's definitely going to be at a crazier position if, you know, both franchises that he's, you know, overseeing are now successful. Because it's like, well, you know, at what point does DC be like, hey, man, you know, what else do you want to do? You know, like, you know, we got a whole shitload of characters that, you know, that have been kind of fucked up before. So, well, what else do you want to fix? You know? What do you want to put your hands in this time? You know, you want to do Superman? Okay, here's Superman. You want to do, you know, you want to do the Birds of Prey? Okay, here you go. You know.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting, man. Like I said, that's gonna be really, really interesting if he has both these successful franchises under his belt. Like, he's gonna probably jump up to like most requested writer director in Hollywood.
And what a story that's gonna be for him, you know, someone who was, you know, just literally thrown and like publicly crucified just to come back. Like, that's a comeback story, dude.
Yeah.
So
one of the greatest, right next to Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
There goes a little Parks and Rec Chris Pratt joke for anybody in the know. just to kind of tie a little bow on this. But yeah, yeah, that's all my thoughts for James being back.
Likewise.
So yeah, I'm gonna try to get up. If anything else comes out like during this week, we're probably gonna jump on again next week, depending on like how much of a conversation we can get out of it. I need to go and edit this with the first part that we recorded.
Are we gonna do a podcast?
Say it again.
Are we gonna do a Shazam podcast?
Fuck, Shazam does come out this week, doesn't it? No, it comes out April.
It comes out this month, but it's I was just asking in general.
Look, I'm talking about before or after the movie because I don't know shit about Captain Marvel.
No, after.
To be completely okay.
Yeah.
Look, I'm positive. I'm open to giving a review of the movie. I don't know jack shit about Shazam. But the movie sold me with the trailer, so I'm really looking forward to the movie.
Yeah, I'm not a crazy Shazam fan, either. I mean, I think the last book I touched was his New 52 when they re-envisioned everything. But
yeah,
aside from the origin, like it's not he's not like Batman or Superman where he's got like, oh, this rogue, and I can't wait to see who this rogue is. I mean,
yeah.
So
I know of Shazam / Captain Marvel mainly because I've read stories that feature his auxiliary players like Captain Marvel Jr., Mary Bastion, and so on and so forth. So that's how I'm familiar with the world. But I would actually like to see where they take this. This movie looks fun to me, and I am in sorely need of a fun comic book movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think I saw, speaking of Batman really, really quickly, since you mentioned his rogue gallery, I didn't know that Matt Reeves was setting his Batman movie up in the 90s, so that should be interesting.
That could be something that we talk about, randomly.
But
maybe not.
I was in Target yesterday, and they had I took a picture of it and I put it on Twitter, but they had for the Shazam toys and everything like that. There was a toy. I think his name was Freddy.
That's the cripple kid.
Does he get his own powers in the comics? Because
that's Captain Marvel Jr.
Huh. So I wonder if that's a spoiler for the movie.
It's spoiled. The Funko spoiled the fuck out of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Everybody has a fucking Funko from this
basically,
movie.
Yeah, all the kids that I think are in that that adopted home with him, I think he's I don't know. I think they're all going to get some kind of
Shazam powers.
Okay, so Billy's actual sister Mary. I didn't know she was in a movie until I saw the Funko.
Wow.
It was like, hey, it's Mary. I go, she's in a movie?
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, thank you there, Funko.
Yeah. Shit is always getting spoiled by the toys. I just need to stop going to the fucking store because I was walking through and I was like, Freddy, and it's this fucking ginger kid. He might have been blonde, but I'm remembering it as ginger. This ginger kid wearing the same suit as Shazam, but it's blue, and I'm like, is this a spoiler? Because I don't know who the fuck Freddy is. But all right, if that's Captain Marvel Jr., okay.
Yep.
Huh. I knew that there was like a family, a Shazam family. I didn't know who, and I don't know who any other characters are, but I know that there is a Shazam family. But I was like, is this one of the characters? Like, are we supposed to know that he's in the movie superpower like this? Like, I don't understand. But
yeah, toys do fuck it up because I was just while you're talking about that, I was grocery shopping last night on my way back from my trip, and it's so horrible. I mean, and it's us. I hate to say this about the Endgame, but I saw one of the smaller toys of Hulk, where he's like wearing a spacesuit, and I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of those. and then I don't know. I think there's been a picture online, but apparently, like, spoiler, not minor spoiler, I guess, but like Hulk in this movie is going to be like more of a just big green Bruce. Like he's going to be able to be like eloquent and Like
Well,
even in the face, he doesn't look like as, I guess, savage and
get his cinematic debut.
You
what's
said
that?
what?
Was it Joe Cool's making his cinematic
Oh,
debut?
Joe Fix It.
Yeah.
There we go. Fix it.
I don't know. It's been rumored for a while that because there's concept art from the Orville Redenbacher like some packaging that they have with tie-in popcorn for the movie. But even way before that, there's been like concept art of like Hulk in like this spandex suit, and people have been rumoring for a while, like, hey, is this gonna be the Professor Hulk? And I'm like, I mean, do y'all really want Hulk to stay a fucking 4-year-old forever? Like, do y'all really want him to like? Look, I'm fine with having Hulk smash and Thor's banner friend, shit like that. Look, I'm totally fine with that. But to evolve the character, they're gonna have to evolve Hulk as well. And remember, Mark Ruffalo has been saying that, Avengers movie starting with, I think it was Ragnarok, Hulk was gonna get his own arc, or Banner was gonna get his own arc. So this is the natural progression for me, at least. So I'm perfectly fine with a Professor Hulk or Joe Fixit version that's that you can understand, that doesn't think like a fucking toddler. I'm perfectly fine with that. No, so I don't really care. Huh?
Yeah, I'll wait for a judge. I just know it didn't look good.
Yeah.
Like the boy, I was like, wow.
I mean, it was probably one of those smaller scale toys. A lot of those shits don't look good, to be completely honest.
Yes.
A lot of those shits don't look good, but that's why I always go for the 6-inch figures, because they just have a whole lot of more care with them. We'll say that.
More detail. Yeah,
more detail.
Yeah.
That's making me where the fuck did I put my White Wolf figure, as people like to call him? It's still Bucky, but I mean, shit. I guess they're making Bucky White Wolf now.
Looks like.
I mean, it's kind of the same story as the actual White Wolf from the comics, adoptive white brother of the Black Panther family. That's basically what he's become. But yeah, so we don't drag on and talk of another fucking 2 hours about random shit.
Before you close it out, I think now would be a good time to announce our sponsor. Maybe not.
I have did that Super Late review, is that scheduled for this week? I did a Super Late review, and
okay.
I can't remember if it came out last week or if I scheduled it for this week, but I mentioned the sponsor in it.
Okay.
But I don't put a logo up or anything like that, but I mentioned that we do have one, so we can start expecting to see like logos and everything like that. So I think, and I'm going to be doing a Super Late review for Tomb Raider, so I'll put the sponsor logo in that video. So
all right, and then I gotta edit episode 2 of the series I launched last week, Forgotten Gems.
Yeah,
because I finally got Premiere working.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that it was on the I saw that you tweeted the link for it. And I was like, I gotta watch that video. So yeah. So we'll be doing the sponsor stuff will be coming up soon. I gotta do my Super Late review for Tomb Raider, like I said, and then I'm also gonna be doing my MCU rankings video. I just got that together earlier today. So that's gonna be interesting to create a video on, because I think I got some very surprising picks and some surprising spots for some people.
And then I also got 2 ideas for 2 more new shows, but I can talk about one because it'd be simple. I'm thinking about just doing a top 3 series, or I just my top 3 for whatever I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Which, because that's easy to create content for, or at least for me, because I'm always ranking stuff in 3s, like my top 3 siblings. I only have 3 siblings.
I was gonna say you only have fucking 3.
Courtney's at the top. I'm still at war with the sister, so
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, and then I got another one in mind that takes a lot more planning. So that should. I'll probably have the episode 1 of Top 3. I'll probably do that tomorrow, and then episode 2 of Forgotten Gems, and then the other series. I'll try to have at least all 3 of them launched by April.
Yeah.
And then next month I'm going to be in Philly.
Yeah.
Because someone backed out, so I'm going by myself.
Hey, look, I need to get this fucking tooth pulled. And I'm tired of sitting around waiting for it. Because every now and then I feel like it's growing more. I just be walking around and I'll be like, I'm pretty sure that part of my mouth is supposed to feel like that. You know what? It's probably time to get this tooth pulled. So, gotta save up for that.
You dentist, but to get the tooth pulled that I own cost me $50 with our insurance.
Oh, look. Not only do I need to get it, not only with my insurance, not only do I need to get a tooth pulled, but remember, I also need to get a fucking some other shit done as well.
So do I.
Hey.
I'm just saying, I'm not judging you or comparing our lives, but they're pretty similar, and I'm winning.
Look, you can kiss the bottom of my dick. And I'm leaving that in there, too. Anyway. And me and John will keep doing episodes of the podcast. I'll try to be a little bit more argumentative with this motherfucker. Stop agreeing with everything.
I set
John.
up a podcast for you with someone who had a difference in opinion. Whatever happened with that?
Didn't I tell you to tell him to reach out to me? Or did I say I was going to reach out?
You said you were going to reach out.
I don't remember that, but I'll reach out.
Bruh.
If that's the case, then I dropped the ball on that. But that's good that
it took differences.
You said what?
I said if we're gonna make differences of opinion, we have to discuss the topic first, so I can find something that I'm not, not agreeing with you on. But that's. I mean,
since you're basically the co-host now, it's good that it's taking me so long, because then I can just have you kind of judge if it goes into like a straight up game show back and forth debate on some shit. So you're like, no, point goes to person A, point goes to Courtney here, shit like that. So yeah, cool. But yeah, that's it for this episode, guys. I took a fucking. I'm surprised I actually woke up for this shit, because I took a nap. Had to wake up this morning to go get my CPR certification. So yeah, I was sleepy as fuck when I got back home. But yeah, we got this knocked out, and I think Monday will probably be the regular recording time for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Because it seems like that's when the 3 of us are gonna. I mean, me and Bruce are free, Sunday on, but obviously John is the one that was. Oh, I'm driving back from Corpus. You know how fucking close Corpus is to fucking Houston. I ain't seen this nigga once.
I went through San Antonio, so because it was a horrible drive. It
sounds like excuses to me.
Yeah, that's totally.
I'm gonna rent a car and fucking drive up there to Dallas anyway, so I just don't know when.
Christmas when I come visit you.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. So yeah,
hey, it's an audition for you. Try to convince me to move to Houston.
Oh my God! Look, clearly I ain't got to audition shit, because you the one going off on your own, looking shit up like, looks good.
Hey. Bro, I found a house for $1,200 a month.
Look, all I'm saying is I ain't got to do no auditioning. You doing that groundwork for me.
Just
clearly,
because when I go visit Papa Bear, he's going to try to convince me to go to Philly. Just saying, that's my little brother.
He's been trying to convince you to come to Philly for I don't know how fucking long.
Truth.
So, I mean, there's that. Anyway, before we get carried away on another tangent, this is everybody signing out, and we'll get up with you guys later.
See ya.
Later.
Peace out.